Leruo.
Leruo, yeah.
Leruo.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, that's correct. Leruo.
Leruo.
Yeah.
Leruo. How are you, my friend?
All good. How about yourself?
Yeah, lekker. Nice to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Awesome. Happy to be here too, man. I've been following you for quite a while, so it's really great to learn more about exactly what you're doing. But yeah.
Appreciate that, man. When did you start following us?
So actually, I think I met you guys through one of my friends. He had an agency, a digital marketing agency, and he spoke a lot about version 8. And so through that and just over time kind of being retargeted. Yeah, that's kind of where we've been kind of seeing what you guys have been up to, which looks really awesome.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I think I appreciate obviously the compliment, and sometimes people follow us for the wrong reasons as well, so I appreciate the kind words. But with that said, the reason you're here today is to talk about just digital products and to give us an indication of I would say, you've worked with how many people now across how many different industries, and how long have you been doing this for? Like, you specialize in selling digital products for coaches and consultants and whatnot. Maybe just give us a little bit of a background of how long you've been doing it for, who you've been doing it for, and we can dive into the nitty gritty of it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so actually it's quite a funny story. So I've been doing this for the past 7 years, and I actually started out when I was in high school. And so primarily what I was focused on at the time was just building marketing campaigns on social media. And I did this all organically with, pages around certain topics, business, motivation, finance. And I got in quite early, and I started to see this movement of people selling their expertise online, right? I got very involved with it simply because of the fact that I actually had a lot of people buying ads on all these brands that I was growing. And that kind of like led me more and more into the space. And so there's a thing called affiliate marketing, right? Yes. Where you sell other people's products. Yes. So I got started with that because honestly, I had zero skills at the time. I was like, the only skill I knew is how to actually play like video game, right? So I just focused on selling other people's products, and no one was really doing it where I was staying. Like, I was actually in Cape Town. And so I got involved with a lot of people internationally, and that's kind of what led me to developing my agency, which initially we focused on just growing brands, and then slowly we started to delve a little bit more into selling products using just the basics, psychology and strategies I learned doing it for myself. And over time we grew more and more, better and better, and we built this agency where we would actually go out there and help these experts grow on social media using the exact same tactics we were using in the beginning to grow our brands, and actually sell their products with the exact same tactics we were using to sell other people's products. And this ended up working, right? It wasn't perfect in the beginning, but it ended up working more and more and more. And yeah, over the years, basically, like till date, I've worked with over 300 clients in combination with consulting, right?
And since when is that exactly, if I may ask?
Yeah, so in total, well, that's since I've ever started the agency and the consulting.
That was in 2000?
I started in 2017, and the agency, I think, was roughly about 2019, I believe, okay, right? Nice. Because that's when I started working with clients and whatnot. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. And yeah, we've built pretty much like over like 100 personal brands, because some people just build like niche pages and stuff, and yeah, essentially people going out there selling their online courses in communities, their ebooks, and we even have clients that have developed software and actually use that as an ecosystem for their online courses, or at least to develop their ecosystem around their knowledge, right? Or expertise, you'd rather say. Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially what we've been doing. Amazing. And yeah, we've scaled that now. We had our best year in 2022. It was actually a project with my business partners technically, but with our digital products, we made over $3 million US dollars, with one Instagram account, right? So it was one face that we had pushing all the clients in. It was all about sales and marketing mainly, and then we took that and expanded into more of a digital market, which is kind of what it's become today. But anyways, yeah.
Beautiful, man. Congratulations on the success as well. Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome. And I mean, it's nice to see someone as your age. I mean, you're quite young. I would classify you as young because I'm about 35. You 24,
23, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So congrats, number one. Number two, let's maybe clarify just what a digital product is. I think there might be someone sitting out there going, I don't really know what is these people are talking about. smosing, selling digital products.
Yeah.
What exactly is it? Maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, quite funny because I just did a video on that. So,
Awesome.
by definition, right, a digital product is basically an intangible good that is sold in a digital format, right? So traditionally, this was always software, but now since we've had a lot of tools and stuff, it's primarily with what we do. An online course where you educate people on a specific topic that you're an expert in, right? It can also be in the form of an ebook. So online course, usually it's video material. So we, let's say, have a communications, like let's say one of our clients is, let me use another example. Let's say one of our clients is a sales expert. So he might actually create a 7-step sales training on how to master every single sales call, and he'd have a set of videos that show them how to do that, and that would essentially structure an online course. A community would then be having people in that let's say buying the course, but let's say are communicating, networking, asking questions, getting help with their unique scenarios. That would form a community. And then an ebook is just the exact same way of delivering the information, just in a written form, right? It's replacing books, right? Just in a digital form. So that would be what I define as a digital product, at least with what we do. Primarily, yes.
So basically, in a nutshell, simple terms, something that is not a physical product.
Yeah.
And it could be a mini course, it could be an ebook, it could be even cutting up podcasts like this and trying to repurpose it in a form of mini courses, whatever it is.
Of course.
Awesome. So digital products, we understand what that is. I think there's a lot of people out there trying to sell information, because that's I would assume the core of a digital product to some extent. I mean, you get SaaS is technically digital products, but I mean, you more referencing to the information side of things.
Absolutely.
Is that a safe assumption to make?
Yeah, 100%. That's where we specialize. We have had clients with softwares, but we have not been involved in the development process of it. It's a whole different game. So I would definitely say that's not an area we are knowledgeable in. But definitely we have helped a lot of clients put their courses, or at least market their courses, and actually use their software within the ecosystem, but never purely marketing a software. So that's important to keep in mind.
So basically, how to sell information online. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
And with that said, there's a lot of people out there who do have a lot of information about specific topics. They're experts in the field, subject matter experts. This could be personal trainers, financial advisors, accountants, people like us. I think there's a lot of people who have tried to go the digital route. Some succeed, some don't. Can we maybe touch on what do you think are the key differences between the people who succeed and the people who don't, and what are some of the mistakes that you think people make when it comes to trying to sell digital products online?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen it a lot, and we've worked with a lot of different people, and I've just seen some of the people who have been the highest. In fact, there was one client which I was actually part of. This was still when I was in my agency, and we actually partnered with another marketing agency to grow his brand. A lot of people may know him. His name is Bashar Katu, right? Basically, as a team, we scaled him to 2.4 million followers. Now, to keep in mind, I wasn't the main person driving it. Actually, it was 2 other guys, but I was basically handling a certain part of their marketing campaign. Scaled to 2.4 million followers, and that product in particular, and the best month it did $2 million, right? In the best month, right? And it's Bashar J Katu. You can search him up on Instagram. So what I've realized in terms of what the best products are and what products that are not good is, I think a lot of people, when they want to sell information, it's one thing to be good at what you're doing, and it's another thing to be a good teacher and have something that actually does work for people, right? Because I have seen a lot of people launch stuff where it's not so great, and it's doesn't really get that many results. And so the first thing I usually say for people, if you want to be able to succeed with a digital product, you need to do it as a service first, right? For other people. And that's ultimately, till this day, what I've seen consistently do the best. If you can, let's say, teach other people in, let's say, more for coaching format, or do as much done for you as possible, you get to perfect the art for different personas, different clients, right? And I've just seen that, if you just launch it from scratch and you don't have this thing of proof of concept of teaching someone from the ground up, This, I think, makes it quite complex. So if I look at the most successful clients and everyone, they've built like a process, which is not just me sitting down here and saying, okay, this is point A, this is point Z. If they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it will work, right? Because likely it ain't gonna work, right? And so you actually have to work with the clients in almost like a coaching format and build everything out like from A to Z, right? In fact, I launched my own training on this, and I'm telling you now, like, there are so many things that have to mold for you to actually have a streamlined process that you can take someone through. So if you want to, like, from what I've seen, the best, if you can teach someone in the form of a service, and that can be just coaching or doing it for them, doing it with them, whatever it is, I believe you can launch a digital product around it. But if you can't, right, then it's proof that you can't really sell a digital product, because digital product is productization.
Yeah.
You're productizing something that is technically already supposed to work in the form of a service.
Exactly.
You get my point? So that's, I think, ultimately what it comes down to. And with that other client that scaled, their product was good.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm not saying, they had 100% customer satisfaction, but their product was good, right? They're in a little bit of a controversial niche, which is make money, right?
Yeah.
But regardless of the fact, their product was very, very good, right? And this is ultimately the biggest thing. If you can do this thing, if you can help someone get results through coaching them, doing it with them, doing it for them, right? And let's say whatever, right? I believe you can productize.
I'm with you. So if you've gotten results for any of your clients, this could be a personal trainer, for example, someone who's worked with, hypothetically, 100 people now over the last year or two, really good at what he does. 70% of the clients actually get decent results. That person has enough information in order to actually productize a digital product, right? To actually go and create a course around how to lose weight or whatever. That's what we're really getting to.
Yeah.
But there are people who have the information, but they might not be good teachers. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that you might be good at what you do. You might have all the information, but how you condense and process and articulate that information to someone else, that is where a lot of people struggle. Let's say that someone has got that part covered, and they actually are good at articulating themselves. They are good at condensing and processing and articulating this information. What would be the next step? What is the next thing that they need in order to succeed?
Yeah. So if you have someone who's, let's say they have proof of concept, they know that they've been able to help clients in the past, even just teaching people from the ground up. Usually we have a 6-phase process to launching a digital product, right? Phase 1 is positioning at both the product level and the digital marketing level, right? And those are 2 separate things. So the first step that we go into whenever we're trying to position a digital product is we're trying to find out what is the strategic, let's say it's a business, it's nothing new to our model, right? It's more of a business thing, right? But it's how do we find your strategic positioning based on what your competitors are offering, right? What their solutions are, right? And also what, of course, the customer wants, right? And the goal is actually to find that middle point between all 3, right? And so our goal whenever we're positioning, we're always trying to aim for the person that has the highest degree of need for the product, right? Because this will make your marketing campaign significantly easier.
Can we do an exercise with a personal trainer? Considering we've been on that topic,
yes, absolutely.
How would this apply to a personal trainer?
Okay, so we have one client, actually, this is a great example. His name's Leon Volta, so we can even pop up his Instagram, whatever. It's Leon_WLTR. And so he's actually from Germany, and he was a personal trainer full time. Now, the reason I like this example is because fitness training is very saturated, right? Yeah. There's lots of people that are speaking about this topic. So the more competitive your market is, the stronger your position needs to be, right? And so we have a matrix which we go through with our clients, and the first thing we try to define is how broad our avatar should be, all right? And then what we do is we create what we call a mechanism, right? Which is the 2 things we use to differentiate ourselves in the market. So if the client or if the person has a lot of authority relative to the market, then we go for a broad avatar. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's say if I have results if I've helped a lot of people launch digital product businesses, I can say, okay, I'm honestly helping anyone that's a professional, right? Sure. But if I don't have as much authority, then usually what I'll do is I'll try focus on the specific person who I think I can get the results for the easiest, right? But really cater my messaging towards this one niche, right?
Because it's ultimately someone with more experience who can actually service to a broader target audience.
Exactly. So I might go for just real estate agents or real estate experts, or hypothetical
Yeah.
example, right? So that's the first thing we got to define: who's the narrow or broad avatar, based on how much authority you have. So authorities, we call it authority matrix, right? So that's the first thing. Then we ask ourselves, do we need to create a new mechanism? And this, once again, comes down to competition.
What is the definition of a mechanism?
So a mechanism is basically, it is the solution that you offer people that is, okay, it's basically like saying why your solution is different from someone else's.
So USP, basically?
Kind of, yes. Except the fact that we monopolize your personal experience.
I'm with you.
Right? So we're trying to make your personal experience,
Your personality in a way
like,
as well.
exactly. So you don't want to be sitting down there with 3 trainers and then it's like, okay, who's cheaper? Because it's the same offer.
Yes.
That's bad positioning. You get my point? Because you position on the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? So when we're creating a mechanism, what we're trying to do is we're trying to define exactly what your process is, highlight the most unique parts of that, and create what we call a mechanism, which then allows us to create a clear marketing statement, right? So let's take the example of Leon, right? So he was like, he's like got trainers that are like everywhere. Trainers were everywhere for him. So it was the same thing. So first of all, he did have a lot of authority. So we knew we could go broad, right, with our messaging, right? Now, the thing is, we couldn't be the people that just said, hey, let's go out there and just try train. We couldn't be the people that said, hey, let's just go and do a vegan diet. So we knew all the alternatives. In order to create a mechanism, you also need to know the alternative solutions. Vegan to losing weight or fat loss, right? Sure. In this case. So this training plan, this vegan, whatever, this this, ketogenic, whatever, So there's all these different alternatives. And so you can either, depending on what you actually do, right? You can either just, if you actually do a keto diet, then it's okay to sometimes do it, but it just depends on how competitive people are pushing that mechanism. That makes sense. Because with him, the thing was, he does it a little bit different. So with Leon, it's a few unique things. So with him, I know that one of the things he focuses on, like any trainer, is caloric deficits, but he tries to plan his diet in a way that it's not extreme, right? So all the meals, so he does have, so his actual thing in his marketing is he's eating burgers, he's eating things, but he's still able to lose weight because he structures his diet in a way that it allows him to eat certain things, but still have that perfect caloric goal.
Yeah, it's not a torture.
Yeah, exactly. He combines that with strength training, right? And not cardio. Because strength training, he calls it actually increasing your ability to burn fat, right? And that's what he calls strength training, right? And then the other part is he actually says activity, but through doing certain things, which is actually, I won't go into that now, but it's a funny way of saying it, right? And so the goal is, what we try to do is we try to, understand Leon's process, what works for him. And we try to, identify the most unique parts of it. Okay, so what do most people say that Leon doesn't? What do most people? And then we basically create what we call a 3 to 6 step process of Leon's thinking. Because at the end of the day, we don't have a lot of time to convince people of why we're different. We have to say it very quickly, very straight to the point, and strike curiosity. The reason why this works is because people are always trying to move away from pain. Right? That's what people are moving away from. People association is the killer of all sales, right? So the moment they don't believe that they can do it, right? It's game over, and that's not always because of you.
Yeah.
It's because of the other things that they've tried before, the other alternatives. So when we're creating this mechanism and this 3 to 6 step process, we're always trying to identify what are the most unique parts of Leon's thing and how can we avoid touching on things that most people say, right? And that's just to try and drive the marketing a little bit. We can only take it so far, right? So that it's actually reflective of what it is. But that's what we try to do. We try, even though maybe part of his diet does mean, yes, you need to, not, let's say, have something super unhealthy. Of course, like most people will tell you that, but maybe we might not make that as the main thing we say the whole time.
Sure.
So we generate a 3 to 6 step process, and then we craft a mechanism. Okay. And this mechanism basically is supposed to define our 3 statistics. So we create a 3 to 6 step process, and then we define that with a name, right? And that basically forms part of what our basically unique processes of implementing it. And so for him, we came up with what we call the Nirvana fat loss diet, which actually reflects his 3 to 6 step process. It's 5 steps, right? But it reflects it perfectly. Okay. So this is what we do positioning on the product level, right? Or let's rather say the offer unique value proposition level, right? So with him, Nirvana fat loss diet, right? His avatar is actually Germans, right? But it's still broad, but it's specifically just Germans, okay? And then we go into positioning on the content level. So we have to now do some market research and understand who are our competitors in the space, what exactly are they speaking about, whatever it is, because when we come in with our content, we have to have this very unique approach. And then I'm not going to go into too much detail on that yet, but that is phase one, positioning. It usually takes some clients weeks to months, because this determines everything. Marketing, a lot of people just go out, post videos on social media, but it's silly because a lot of people don't understand. They don't take the market into consideration.
Sure. And those angles also have to come naturally to you.
Yeah.
Like it can't be forced.
Of
like
course.
It can't be, this angle is going to work for me because I think it's not as competitive, but then you are not naturally able to articulate that angle well, that people can resonate with it. So it has to be authentic to you.
Exactly. It has to literally be like, we tell our clients this, if you can sell it to me right now on this call, that's how I want you to be able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs to be so clear, right? And so the Nirvana fat loss diet has actually gone super viral for him. He's gone over 30,000. He's actually making really good numbers right now.
Amazing.
5 figures per month, euros. And so when it comes to marketing, we have what we call our 7-figure acquisition strategy. And that's what we've done for our clients in the past. So we use primarily short form content. We use long form content as a means to support the short form content. So it's not like we're crazy specialists when it comes to YouTube. We just use it to support our funnel, right? And then essentially we craft the marketing campaign. We have 4 pillars of content, right? In 2 categories, sales content and personality content. And we implement both with our clients, help them grow organically. Then we use influencer ads. Sometimes, we haven't done really much Meta. I've actually been the first one to test with Meta now. Yeah. But it's mainly influencer ads, like paid influencer ads. That's what we've done. That's what's worked for us. Which a lot of people don't actually know how to do, like the niche page influencer ads. With all these pages, these theme pages, and like we max this out. And so usually our clients scale with this. And you have a really powerful business because he has an online coursing community, right? And for him, the more views and eyeballs that he gets, right, the more water he pours into a bucket that's already, working, right, the more money he makes with a product that's completely scalable, right? So that is, so it's phase one, positioning. Then we actually go to, I think it's position. Is it systems creation, or I think it's course creation, then systems creation. Then we have marketing as phase 4, then paid influencer ad as phase 5, and then 6 is long form content. So that's our 6-phase process.
That's the whole process. So just to conclude, the first step is really just being a good teacher.
Yeah.
The second step is then, identifying your positioning and understanding how you're going to stand out in the market.
At both the product and the content level.
Exactly. Yes, because those are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Then it's a matter of actually putting the information together, I'm assuming. And we can maybe chat a little bit about what a lot of people do wrong in that case as well, because good is subjective. When someone said the information was good, it was amazing, it's all subjective to what they know. So I'm keen to understand, is there certain principles you guys follow when it comes to the clients creating their courses? Number 1. And then moving on, it's building the processes around funneling these people into the sale. I suppose, is that what you're saying with the process creation?
Systems, systems so designing a funnel, email marketing.
Exactly. So you need to actually be able to funnel all that stuff. And so many people want to jump from phase 1 to phase 4 immediately. They don't even have phase 1 covered, so they might not even be the most amazing teacher. Let's say they jump immediately to how can I make sales, without really considering their positioning, without really considering the message, the unique selling points, and without actually questioning whether the product that they've created is actually amazing or not. So I would love to dive into that with you in part 2. Let's cut this as part 1. If you enjoyed this, then stay tuned for the next video. Cheers.